What's up guys, I'm back with another reaction. This one is going to be an IMR Scary Tales video. This one is called I Was Almost Kidnapped, and it is 2 horror stories in one. So one of them is being almost kidnapped, and then I guess one is something else. So I guess we'll find out. I'm just going to close my curtain real quick. And turn this on instead. Alright. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Abduction horror story. Okay, so.
This happened to me back in the summer of 2018.
Okay.
Just thinking about it now still gives me chills to this day when I consider what could have happened to me that night. I'll start by giving a little backstory. I'm a 24-year-old male who lives in Minnesota. I was staying with a friend who lives in Chicago. We've been friends since sophomore year in college, so I was really looking forward to catching up with him since our departure after graduation.
I feel that.
I was only visiting him for a week, and then I would be on my way home. During the evening, my friend, who we'll call Steven, and his mother went out to go get food.
No, she's sus.
And I decided to stay behind, for the simple fact that I just wanted to get settled in for the night. However, the house became extremely hot, so that's when I decided to get out of the house and go walk around the neighborhood.
Okay.
Now, something that you should know about me at this point is that I'm a frequent walker, especially at night. It really calms my nerves whenever I'm on edge, or when I just need to get away for a while. I'm a really antisocial guy in a way. After about 10 minutes of walking, I came across the neighborhood park, and just to kill some time, I decided to go explore it.
Don't go in there.
This park was massive. There was a baseball field enclosed by a walking trail that went on for about a mile.
Look at that, it's so dark
and there was also a small basketball court.
No.
In the distance, I could also see a small playground area for children.
It's all sus.
Along with a dimly lit bathroom that you would typically see at any community park.
Someone's probably in there.
The creepiest part was the trees that surrounded the area.
Exactly.
Even though it was a park, it kind of put you in the state of mind that you were standing in the middle of a forest preserve. I didn't have any fears about walking around this park at night, because Steven always assured me that his neighborhood was safe for the most part.
For the most part.
Nothing ever happens here, he would always say. But
that's gonna jinx
he was mistaken. I decided to keep walking, and I eventually came across a small park bench.
Okay.
So I decided to sit down and enjoy the night breeze for a little bit. I was at peace when I suddenly heard a rustling noise coming from the nearby trees. I quickly turned around, and there was nothing there.
No, there's something there.
It might have been the wind.
It's not the
wind. A bird or maybe a squirrel.
It's not, no.
I thought.
No, it's not.
After about 5 minutes of relaxing, I pull out my phone to see a text from Steven. It read, "Hey, we just got back. Where are you?" I was about to respond when I looked up to see a car pull in near the playground a few yards away from where I was sitting.
Sauce, you better run. Just fucking run.
This was pretty odd, seeing how it was about 9:30 p.m.
Run.
But I didn't know much about this area.
Why are you still sitting?
So I dismissed it as being completely normal. A few minutes go by, and I thought that someone would exit the car.
A few minutes, and they're still right there.
It was at this point that I started to feel a little on edge.
Now you start feeling on edge.
The headlights were irritating me. So I got up and started walking back to Steven's house.
Run.
I texted him saying, "I'm on my way back from the park." In that moment, I heard a car door slam behind me, and I looked back to see a very large man.
Run.
He was standing in front of his car, and it looked like he was staring right at me.
Run, he's pissed.
Now keep in mind, it was pretty dark at this point.
Yeah, he's pissed.
So I can't really describe any of his facial features. I began walking again, picking up my pace and looking behind me every few seconds. The man was now following me, and I was growing paranoid. I don't want to die tonight, I thought to myself. Suddenly I noticed out of the corner of my eye 2 men emerged from the trees in the darkness. I was almost at the entrance of the playground when I heard, "Hey sexy, come here a minute. You want to have some fun tonight?"
Oh my god, run now.
I was scared shitless at this point.
Goosebumps, run.
Adrenaline started to kick in, and to this day, I still believe I did one of the stupidest things I've ever done.
What did you know?
I turned around to face the men head on, and yelled, "Fuck off! I'm not in the mood for games tonight." At that moment,
Oh, you fucked up.
a large hand covered my mouth from behind. Oh my god, oh my god. And it was suddenly harder to breathe. I tried to scream, but the gloved hands just held me tighter.
Oh my god.
I started to feel lightheaded, and everything turned blurry.
Oh my god.
I then blacked out. I woke up in a car, still feeling lightheaded.
Oh my god.
My hands were tied, and my belt was unbuckled.
Oh my god, stop.
I immediately noticed that all 4 of the car seats had men in them.
Oh my god.
And I was sandwiched between 2 of them in the back seat. What's going on? I said in a hoarse voice.
Oh my god.
We're going for a ride, the driver said. I felt weak and sluggish as I desperately tried to move my body. But a sharp blow to the side from one of the men sitting beside me stopped me in my tracks. There was no way I could fight 4 guys bigger than me. I started begging for them to let me go, and they responded by just laughing at me. Tears ran down my face as I struggled to get my hands free. But it was useless. I felt nothing but fear and anger and overall embarrassment.
I'm trying to imagine myself in this situation.
The car started to back out of the parking lot, when suddenly there was the sound of the back window glass breaking.
Oh shit. What is that, a cop?
3 of the men immediately got out of the car to check it out. What the hell just happened? One of them yelled. You sickos, let him go now!
Yes, that's your best friend, isn't it?
I recognized the second voice as Steven. Yes. With the car doors open,
yes,
I took the opportunity to escape.
Oh shit.
Desperately stumbling onto the pavement, I looked up to see Steven holding a rock in one hand and a tree branch in the other.
Fucking yank that shit up.
I called the police on you fuckers,
yes,
he said. I started to gather my strength
and joined
my friend in the standoff. We were outnumbered, but I wasn't going to let him fight these men on his own.
Exactly.
He was like a brother to me, and where I come from, you protect your family. In the distance, we heard the sound of sirens.
Yes.
The men quickly hopped back in the vehicle and booked it out of there fast.
Fuck you too.
I immediately noticed the car didn't have any license plate. I'll skip through the police details, because it was just the usual. They took my statement and told me that they would let me know if anything happens. The week passed without further incident. The day that I was getting ready to go back to Minnesota, I was trying to block out everything that happened as best as I could, when Steven said, You could have been Michael. Who's Michael? I asked. He then told me that when he was in middle school, he had a friend named Michael. They used to play together all the time at that playground. One day a stranger approached them. The man claimed to be a friend of Michael's dad.
Fuck off.
To make a long story short, he never saw that man, or his friend Michael, ever again.
Oh my god, stop. What's the second story? Psycho. Oh god, this one will be good.
After high school many years ago, I was in a bad place. My guardian had kicked me out after graduation. She didn't even help me find a place to stay. So I ended up living in my car for a couple of months.
Oh my god, seriously?
I met some heavy metal dudes at work one day. I had seen them around town, and all of my other friends seemed to know who they were. Everyone loved them. We became friends over a couple of months, and they offered for me to move in with them.
Oh my god,
I agreed. Looking back now, I wish I had just stayed in my car. My 2 main roommates were brothers, named Andrew and Seth. They were both in a band. They also believed in the occult, and anything of that sort. I never really believed in that stuff, but I'm not one to tell someone what they should and shouldn't believe.
That's fair.
They had let me live with them rent-free for several months after all, so who was I to complain? Being the only female in a house full of young men,
that's sus.
I was always looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
You never know who you can trust. Turns out I was right to worry. Over time, their friends started to stay with us for longer periods of time, sometimes weeks. Their friends were another group of brothers that they had gone to school with. There were 5 in total, but only 2 stayed with us consistently. The younger brother, Mark, was very polite. He cleaned up after himself and always helped with the household chores. The other brother, Adam, though, he had a laundry list of mental problems. He had apparently done some bad drugs back in the day, and it had developed into what seemed like psychosis of the religious sort. He had done time in prison for assaulting a woman with a Bible. He would often look you in the eyes and tell you he could see how you would die. Once he even told me that I was possessed by a demon, and that I needed my soul cleansed. Everyone in the house knew he had these problems, but he was their friend. They helped him through the hard times and gave him a place to stay. Otherwise, he would be out on the streets.
I want to live with him, though.
I was always on guard around him after the things he would tell me. No one else seemed to be as concerned as I was, though.
Like, hello, is that not concerning to you?
One day, I was sleeping and my phone suddenly rang. It was my boss. He asked if I could come into work an hour early. It was only 12 p.m. I was broke and I had nothing better to do, so I said yes. I got up and began getting ready to leave. I walked out into the living room to see Mark and Andrew sitting on the couch, while Adam sat on the floor by the TV. He was watching scripture videos on YouTube.
Sus.
Some real end-of-days type shit.
Sus.
That was a fairly common occurrence, so I went about my business as usual. I said goodbye to them and left for work.
Why does she have a beard?
My shift at work was almost complete when my phone rang. My boss answered, handed it over to me, and said, "For you." I was just a cashier at the place, so I assumed it was a friend that couldn't reach me on the phone. I answered, and heard a man's voice that I didn't recognize. Hi, this is Detective Williams. Something happened at your apartment today, and we need you to come into the station to talk about it. I left work immediately. I had assumed one of the brothers had been arrested for drug dealing or something. I was very wrong. I got to the station and was buzzed in. An officer escorted me to a small, cold room with a camera. He gave me a bottle of water and left me by myself for about 30 minutes. My mind was racing, thinking about what could have happened. He came back in and informed me that Adam had stabbed and killed Andrew around 1 p.m. I was shocked. I had just left the house only an hour before it happened, and everything had seemed completely normal. I asked if there had been a fight. The detective informed me that there hadn't been a struggle at all. It seemed to have just happened out of nowhere. I gave my statement to the police and left with nowhere to go, still in shock and confused out of my mind. Our apartment was a crime scene, so I went to another friend's house to watch the news report. The police refused to give me any information on the case. Over the next couple of days, the information began to be released. Adam hadn't just stabbed Andrew once, not twice, but stabbed him over and over, and even nearly decapitated him. After the murder, he ran down the road still holding the weapon. He called 911 and informed them what he had done. I watched the news report in horror. We had known he was unstable, but this? He had fully confessed to the brutal murder and provided police with his notebooks. He had apparently been planning to murder all of his brothers, my roommates, and me. He thought that we were possessed by demons, and that this was the only way to free us. Luckily, none of his other intended victims were there at the time. Mark unfortunately witnessed the murder, but luckily he managed to escape. If I hadn't gotten that call from my boss, I wouldn't be alive today.
Right? Oh my god. Jesus. Like, that's honestly terrifying. It's like you just get called into work, you come in normally, then you go to the police station, it's like, yeah, someone got murdered. It's like, what the fuck? Like, because so they happened an hour before and they asked to come in an hour early, so that's kind of sus. That's so coincident. That's so crazy though. Like, what are the odds? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if like stuff happened, like, I mean, obviously it happened for a reason, so she wouldn't die, you know what I mean? But it's like, how would that even, like, what are the odds of that? Like, what are the odds of that really happening? Like, I just can't believe that. Like, this video's not going to be up probably for a few weeks, but there was a Leafs game yesterday. Today's August 8th, I still think it's July. Today's August 8th, yesterday was August 7th, the Leafs game. This is random, like, what are the odds of Columbus coming back from 3-0 down, winning 4-3 in overtime? The very next night, they're up 3-0, and then Toronto flips an Uno card, and they're like, nope, 3-3, nope, 4-3 in overtime. Like, what? Like, what are the odds of that? That's what made me think of that. Like, what are the odds of that? Like, oh yeah, can you just come in early? You know, it's busy, like, someone called off, like, oh, I need you to come in early, which I get that call sometimes too. And it's like, okay, but, like, you wouldn't expect to, like, for that to happen. Like, Jesus, oh my god. Okay, well, you better thank your boss, otherwise you wouldn't be alive right now, so you better thank him left, right, oh my god. Like left, right, center, you better thank him every day, every day. Cause shit, that's scary. Wow. Alright, that's gonna be it for this video though. Please be sure to subscribe if you are new. Be sure to comment down below any more suggestions you may have. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.